Hello, and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
We have so much time and so little to see. Wait a minute, strike that and reverse it. Thank you. This week we recommend Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So, you've seen this before, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if Jason's seen this movie.
I don't think
I've
ever seen it on I'd only ever seen it on television.
Yeah.
But this is the first time watching it
Without ads and stuff.
Commercial breaks.
That's funny because one of the Oompa Loompa songs is like, don't watch TV, you read books and stuff. They have no commercials.
And do you think they know how to read?
Though,
I doubt it.
Yeah, they can. I mean, they got to read like the ingredients on their stuff that they're pouring, right? I'm sure they got recipes they got to read.
I disagree.
Maybe only one knows how to read. I love the Oompa Loompas. Like, they have no expressions or emotions. It's so weird when you see them sing. It's like they're just
awesome,
straight faced the whole time. And it's like, can they have emotions? Are they brainwashed by Willy Wonka? In this movie, I think they might.
I think they might be, yeah.
This guy's a straight up freak. So the movie's directed by, what's his name? Mel Stewart? I actually don't know him.
No.
He did like Welcome Back, Kotter or whatever. I think that's
I don't know.
It's the only thing I've ever heard of that he's done. I mean, there's a few other ones, but I can't really remember them.
Was it like 1962?
This movie is 1971.
1971?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably dead.
Starring Gene Wilder.
Yes.
Do you love Gene Wilder?
I love Gene Wilder.
Love Gene Wilder. In love with Gene Wilder. So you've seen the three. So you've seen the. Well, so you know that you knew. Do you know who Timothy Chalamet is?
Probably, if I've seen him.
You see Dune?
Yeah.
Okay, he's the guy he's the main character in Dune.
Okay. And he's going to be the new Wonka.
Yeah, he's the new Wonka that's coming out the same day that this is released.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, boy.
It's going to be like the prequel.
So,
noise.
Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka.
What?
Timothy Chalamet as Willy Wonka. Who's hotter?
I don't know. Probably Johnny Depp.
Wrong.
I'm not sure.
Wrong, Gene Wilder. Hottest guy ever.
Yeah, he's a very handsome man.
Yeah, he's just so funny.
Yes,
he's so sarcastic and just a little. He's a douchebag. I love
it.
He just like does small little things that are so annoying throughout this film. And I was like, whenever they're walking down the stairs to get into the room where you can eat everything, and he's like constantly like stopping people.
Yes,
and it's like I love it.
He's just building that suspense.
It's so great. It also stars Jack Albertson as Grandpa Joe.
Grandpa Joe.
And who's just
his wife Josephine.
Oh, we'll get to Joe soon. We'll get to old Grandpa Joe. You got Peter Ostrom plays Charlie, Roy Keener, Mr. Salt, Julie Dawn Cole, Veruca Salt, Leonard Sohn as Mr. Beauregard, and then Denise Nickerson as Violet Beauregard, Nora Denny as Miss TV. Oh, in my notes I just put TV, so it's very weird whenever
that's
I just read
how he signs his name too.
Yeah, that's true. Paris Thiemann as Mike TV, Ursula Wright as Mrs. Gloop, and Michael Bolner as Augustus Gloop. Gloop. I kept saying goop. Like, I kept putting in my notes, goop.
Augustus Goop.
Yeah. It's like, I'm Augustus Goop.
That's
so,
unfortunate.
You like this movie, correct?
I loved it, yeah.
What is it about it that you like, man?
It's weird and colorful.
Like, as a kid, I guess this is just because I watched horror movies pretty early as a kid, but like as an adult, I find it scarier than I do as a kid. I just didn't realize how weird it was as a kid. I don't think. I was like, oh no, this is normal. This is how things should be, right?
Yeah.
Going in, people getting sucked up or whatever. It's like, it's funny. It is kind of a perfect kids movie, but I feel like
but even as a kid, you're just like, these kids are dropping like flies, and you don't even think about it. You're just like, oh well, he's gone.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I would have survived. Do you think you would have as a kid if you weren't here, or you think you?
Yeah, I think I would have survived.
You wouldn't have eaten
I was
anything
good
at
at
all.
following rules, you know.
I don't know. That I was always told that I was kind of a little bit of a brat as a kid. And they're like, I think I remember like my parents being like, I don't know, we're kind of worried about them. And then I turned out to be relatively normal, I guess, when I got older.
Relatively.
Yeah. No, but I love this movie, and it's probably one of my favorite musicals, at least in the top 5.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, as far as I know, only Singing in the Rain beats it as I'm thinking right now. So
yeah, it's just different. I think it's just a totally different tone.
I mean, there's only one bad song, I feel like.
Which one is that?
The Mother's song.
Yeah,
it's so boring and out of nowhere, and it's like when I got to it to take notes, I was like, skip 15 seconds, skip 15 seconds, skip 15 seconds.
Smile, Charlie. Smile.
It's just I don't know, the pacing of it. It's like, come on, let's get to the Wonka factory.
I know. I didn't realize as a child, the beginning before they get into the factory takes a long time.
It does take a long time. There's some great bits in it, like the teacher who's hilarious. I love that guy. Yeah. And I do like the very first song, you know, the Candyman Can. That's a really good one. And a lot of the guy who's like his therapist, and the guy's like, you saw a dream? Where's the chocolate bar?
Tell me.
The weird little computer thing. It's like, I'll tell this computer where he can put the chocolate. It's like, dude, you're arguing with the computer. What are you doing? So this is a Roald Dahl book.
Yeah, is this our second or third Roald Dahl movie based on a Roald Dahl? Because it was just
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Yeah, we're a bunch of Roald Dahl heads. Have you ever read any of the books of his?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had him at we did some at school. You know, he did a poetry book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I think it was like where the sidewalk ends. We always used to do that. Read that stuff in the elementary school.
I'm bummed out because we never read anything like this in elementary school.
We never read this one.
We never read anything cool in elementary, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Bummer. It's like, force me to read Roald Dahl, dude. I think we had the books. I don't remember ever being read to or reading any of them.
Yeah, books are book level boring.
Book level boring. I'd rather watch TV, like Mike TV. I got my boy. So Roald Dahl envisioned the Willy Wonka in his book to be more hard, cold, and British eccentric, who gave off the illusion that he was a creative genius. Dahl didn't approve of Wilder for the on-screen part. He felt that Wilder's portrayal was a little too soft and didn't fit the vision in his head when he wrote it. Which, it's like, what do you mean? This guy's a psychopath. Like, he might have been, like, softer, but he wasn't, like, he doesn't seem nice until the very end, right? I wouldn't consider this guy a nice guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he might be a bit of a sociopath.
I love it.
So, and Wilder only agreed to do the movie on one condition. He wanted to do a somersault in Wonka's opening scene. He felt that it would be a great way to set up the tone of the unpredictable, spontaneous personality he was about to portray. Though Willy Wonka never actually somersaults in the book, fans love the Wilder version.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was awkward seeing that scene as an adult. Like, I don't know, he just does like a little roll. And everybody's like cheering like crazy.
I thought it was weird how everybody was so bummed out that he had a limp.
Yeah.
It's like, really? I mean, the guy can have a limp and still be a great chocolate maker, right?
Like, who is this handicapped
It's like, you know what?
asshole?
Actually, I hate this. I love his chocolate, but now that he limps, I don't like him. You know what? I'm leaving. He's got a terrible cane, though. That thing bends like nobody's business. Are you kidding me?
Almost like it's not real.
Yeah. It's made out of chocolate, probably.
Yeah.
So the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie highlights the ways that imagination, creativity, and belief that the best things are yet to come are what can keep a youthful soul alive. However, many Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book lovers are quick to point out that the novel represents a darker commentary. In reality, Willy Wonka can be interpreted as a representative of the elite. He runs a factory that operates on the labors of others and benefits from sales marketed towards the young. Mm-hmm. It's a classic critique of wealth building, and though masked by bright colors and lighthearted songs, the film still allows for Wonka to represent this too.
Yeah, he does kind of operate on slave labor.
Yeah, and as I was like watching it this time, I was like, I feel like this, especially when he's like, everybody go out and buy all the chocolate. I'm like, dude, no wonder Wonka at the end of this is like, yeah, I'm actually kind of done because I just made $5 billion in like 3 weeks. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. So in the scene where Wonka has the children ride a boat over the chocolate river and through a tunnel, the candy maker Wonka begins to show signs of his imaginations that might imply he's some sort of crazy genius.
Or he puts like acid in all the chocolate that they were all eating just a second ago.
Must have. When filming the scene, Gene Wilder had never rehearsed it in front of his co-stars and kept many of his acting choices a secret until he was in front of the camera. His resulting performance seemed so realistic that many of the children on the set believed that Wilder might have actually been going crazy. But it was just his acting skills.
They were all truly afraid.
They're like, wait, what? What is this? Like, no one told us we're gonna see, I don't know, centipedes and stuff all over the walls.
That was wild.
Super close-ups of crabs and stuff.
Or a chicken getting his head chopped off.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing?
Yes.
Like, what is this? What is this? What's the point this is supposed to be proving in the film? So the book states that the river that flows through Wonka's factory is made of sweet chocolate. However, for the film, the river on the factory set wasn't completely chocolate. Half of the river you'll see in the film is made up of water and cream. The water and cream were then mixed with melted chocolate. Many parts of the set of Wonka's factory remained hidden. In the scene where the children see the factory for the first time are the actors' genuine reactions.
Sweet.
Unfortunately, the chocolate river spoiled quickly and left an awful smell on set.
Oh, gross.
Well, if you put cream in it, of course it's going to stink.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I feel like maybe they didn't think this one through.
Yeah. They're like, it's just going to look so good visually. And like now, I'm sure in the...
Let's use real milk.
The new Wonka. Yeah. In the new Wonka movie, I'm sure it's just going to be CGI or whatever it is.
Oh, God. Thank goodness.
Probably going to look terrible, though.
It won't smell like shit.
Right? I don't know. This would have been the part where I'm like, come on, Wonka, you got to at least give us a straw or something. We got to try this chocolate in this river, right?
It's like, it's just the metaphor. It's not, this is just the river that actually goes through London. And,
yeah. It is actually a poop-filled river.
That's what it looks like all the time.
But I mean, come on, there's no better mixer than a waterfall, I guess.
Oh God.
So Melster, the director, revealed that it was his daughter Madeline who inspired him to turn the novel into a movie. She had mentioned that it was her favorite book and it would be a great story to put on screen. And that is how the 1971 classic film was made. Unfortunately, Roald Dahl ended up disliking the final version of the film. Though he was brought on to write the original draft of the screenplay, it was reported that he was unhappy with many of the small changes made on screen. Looking on the bright side, movie lovers and book lovers now have both works of art to turn to.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. And my favorite little fact that I got, my last one, the Oompa Loompas were known for partying very hard off set.
Yeah.
Even traveling in a limo together to go to bars.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I hope they didn't even take off their makeup or anything. I hope they just left it on. That'd been great. Just walking to the bar, everybody's like, why are they orange? Why do they have green hair? Why do they have the dopest costumes I've ever seen in my life?
And they're, just flashing stacks of cash.
Yeah. Just like, this is our Oompa Loompa money, baby. We just saw a kid get sucked up in a pipe.
Just coming to the bar, Oompa Loompa.
They
Give
just
us some drinks.
They just walk in with Violet still blowed up, just like pushing her in. That'd be so awesome. All right, man. Ready to hop into this film? Cool. So the film opens with some delicious dang chocolates being made.
Yeah, they look like a Hershey Kisses.
That's great. I love that part. My mouth is watering just
I know,
thinking
it's
about
kind of soothing to watch.
I will say this movie gets like the deliciousness of chocolate just right.
Yeah.
Like when they open a Wonka bar and it just like opens up, I'm like, it looks so much better than any candy bar I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's supposed to look like, similar to like Hershey's chocolate bar, but I've never opened up a Hershey's chocolate bar and been like, whoa.
I know, me neither.
They're a little too thin.
Most of the chocolate that we have here sucks ass compared to like the other parts of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever tried. Well, no, that's
American chocolate. Like everybody knows that American chocolate sucks ass.
Yeah. Is it because they put too much sweetener in it?
I don't know.
Too much sugar, maybe?
Don't know.
Because I feel like that's my problem with chocolate. I'm like, this is too sweet.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
I like it to be a little bit bitter too.
I like the dark, bitter chocolates.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bitter boy. We see some kids getting out of school and going to a candy shop. Have you ever been to a candy shop like this? Like straight up walked into this tiny little shop just filled with nothing but candy?
Like, at like Disney World, they have stuff like that. But
yeah, my only thing's been going to something in Universal, going to the candy shop at Universal
But I think
Harry Potter one.
I think this Candyman is a serial killer.
I think, I love this part, and I think it's very delightful, and the guy looks like a very fun guy, but it's the part of his hair. It's his hair being slicked back and part. It reminds me of the movie Willard.
Yeah.
The guy with a rat or whatever. Like, he just reminds me of that actor. And I'm like, I don't know about this.
Oh, this scene is so funny because he starts singing. Yeah, it's delightful. And so he's singing. And then he just starts showering these kids with candy.
Yeah, right.
And then he lets the kids behind the counter. He's like, come on to the back room, kids.
It's like, no.
And then you never see these kids
You
again.
never see them again.
He's just throwing out free candy, and Charlie's at the window watching like a little depressed boy.
I wish I had
Wish I
money.
had candy.
Darn
Dude,
it.
if you just walked in the door,
He would have gotten so much
you
candy.
would have gotten candy thrown at you.
Yeah, for real. They didn't have to pay for all that. The guy got lost in his song.
Yeah, but then, you know what? It's a good thing he didn't go inside because he lived to fight another day.
He lived to fight another day. And so the candy shop owner, he's pushing the scrumdiddlyumptious bars, which is the best name for a candy bar ever.
Yeah.
And then we get the Candyman can song. It just hypes up Willy Wonka. It's a perfect way to start the movie. And then you got old Charlie, just wants some chocolate, but he can't afford it.
Man.
And so he goes out to his newspaper stand and hands out some
Guess better
newspapers.
go to work.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, he walks by the Wonka factory. And then you get this crazy guy who's just pushing around a cart of knives and machetes and giant, like, butcher knives.
Charlie faces murder at every turn.
Every turn. This place is insane. It just turns out that was actually Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Totally fine.
But yeah, it's funny because, I mean, this movie could be a horror movie.
Oh.
It's so close to being one. This is literally like the guy, like when we did The Cabin in the Woods and you have the like redneck guy out in the middle of the gas station.
Yes.
That's this guy. He's like the person warning Charlie to not go in.
Nobody goes in.
But he still
comes
decides.
out.
But luckily, Charlie is the final girl, I guess, of the movie.
Oh, gosh.
He makes it out. We cut to Charlie's house. It's filled with like four of his grandparents.
Yes.
Bedridden. They've been bedridden for 20 years.
Gosh darn years.
I think they just got a little lazy.
Yeah.
Like it should cut to when Grandpa Joe stands up. He should just have like black sores all over his back.
Just bed sores.
His legs are like toothpicks. But, well, we'll see what happens.
His pajamas are like puke stained.
Yeah.
Like
It's
putrid.
It's like, y'all don't wash it. I mean, I guess they're just like, just don't. Like, that house has to stink.
Oh, man.
I bet the mother's just going around Febrezing them as she walks by.
No.
Because they
and
pour as hell.
And all they eat is boiled cabbage.
Yeah. Like no cabbage water. It's not even boiled cabbage. It's just cabbage water. They pour as hell, dude.
I know they pour.
They look like, at first when they show the outside of the house, I was like, is that a barn? Nor Natalie was like, that looks like a barn. I was like, yeah, it kind of does. Charlie comes in and gives him a loaf of bread because he doesn't want to have cabbage water anymore. It's a feast.
Hell yeah.
That bread looked delicious.
Finally got him some money.
Yeah. He tells Grandpa Joe about the creep. And Grandpa tells Charlie that Willy Wonka to close down the factory because competing candy owners were trying to spy on him and trying to steal his recipes. Like what is it? Slughorn or whatever? Slugworth, yeah. So then we cut to Charlie, who's now at school with his hilarious teacher. The teacher is showing Charlie an experiment that will remove warts. I love it because the teacher asks him, "It's like, do you know anything about this?" And Charlie's like, "No." And he's like, "Of course you don't know. You don't know because only I know. If you knew and I didn't know, then you'd be teaching me instead of me teaching you. And for a student to be teaching his teacher is presumptuous and rude. Do I make myself clear?"
Yes.
This guy freaking crushes it, man. And then there's a lot of commotion outside. Turns out that Willy Wonka has put golden tickets in his candy bars, and if you find it, you can tour his factory and get a lifetime supply of chocolate. Like, the teacher runs up like, "What's all this commotion?" It's like, Willy Wonka, he's giving out he's giving out golden tickets so people can tour his factory. He's like, "Class dismissed."
Yeah.
It's like, there's only 5 tickets out there. Class undismissed. It's like, yeah, you just have to buy them, and they could be going to anybody. Anybody could get it. Class dismissed again. Such a great teacher. Hilarious. Love that guy.
British humor.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's so good. When I was looking at him, I was like, is he a part of the
Monty Python?
Monty Python?
I
He
don't
looked
know.
similar.
Possibly.
He looked very familiar. I should have looked that up. So Charlie is hopeful that he'll be able to find a golden ticket. So many people are buying chocolate bars.
God,
they look
so
all
depressing.
so delicious, though.
They do look delicious.
If you're gonna do something like this and you're gonna take advantage of people and making them buy things, at least you get the most delicious possible thing, right?
Yes.
It's like, what? How am I so bad? You know what? People got to eat chocolate. I made people eat chocolate. You gonna complain about that? Are you kidding me, bro? I don't know. That's just the way I'm gonna look at it. You can't make this. You can't make this movie sad in my eyes. I don't care if it's about capitalism or whatever.
Oh man,
and serial killers. So we see a shrink talking to a patient. He yelled at the guy because the guy's like, an archangel came and tried to tell me where the Wonka bars are or whatever.
Well, yeah,
like, tell me where the ticket is.
He's like, the archangel whispered in my ear where it was.
And this was the part where I was like, wait a second. I know what this movie's a prequel to. Clockwork Orange.
Nice.
I was like, wait, this is like an insane reality. And like, it feels like everybody's freaking out over something stupid. It's like, are we just like slowly getting to the brink of where we're on the Clockwork Orange? And of course, it's British as hell. It feels like
Charlie is the gang leader.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like Charlie grows up to, yeah.
Oh, God. That's
I mean,
horrible.
and there's so many silly words like there are in a Clockwork Orange.
Can't wait to beat a woman with a penis.
That part's rough. I don't like that part.
It's bad.
I can't. We're definitely gonna do Clockwork Orange soon.
Okay. Oh man,
that movie is crazy. So we see a news anchor telling the world that the first ticket has been found by Augustus Gloop. He's a hungry kid. His father eats the mic.
Yeah, he just bites it.
And then while being interviewed, a man begins whispering in Augustus's ear.
Super creep.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a giant cut on his face.
That's Slugworth, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Slugworth.
He's just everywhere.
Yeah, he's the worst. So we cut to the next scene, and we got Charlie's birthday. His mom gives him a knitted red scarf. I love that scarf. That looks great.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Looks like a wonderful scarf.
Everybody helped with it.
And then Grandpa Joe just buys him a dang old chocolate bar because he has money now.
With his tobacco money?
Yeah. It's like, dude, you just been laying in bed smoking tobacco? And then who also went to go get that candy bar? Probably you while the mother was at freaking work. And you stood up.
I love how much shit he gets now.
I mean, the dude deserves it.
Oh, God.
It's so crappy. Ugh, can't wait till we get to that part. So Grandpa Joe really ups his hype. Charlie pretends to find it. He's like, "Look, I found it." He's like, "No, I didn't."
Fucking asshole kid.
It's like, Charlie, dude, it's not their fault.
I really fooled you, didn't I?
Yeah. I would have smacked him and be like, "Shut up! This was gonna change our world. We could have chocolate water instead of cabbage water."
Oh, no.
So we cut to a peanut factory full of people opening Wonka bars. Veruca Salt is a spoiled brat yelling at her dad to tell the factory workers to work harder.
She's the worst.
Yeah, she sucks. The guy's like, "We'll give you it's like, you better find it now or you'll all be out of here. The person that finds it gets a pound raise."
Golly.
I was like, "Yeah.
I want it now, Daddy."
And then like, yeah, dude, she's going off. And then like the mother's just like, she's going to be very unhappy.
She's awful too.
But then we see this girl, she finds it. Veruca Salt runs down and like, I found the ticket. I found the ticket. About time. And then all of a sudden there's just that creepy guy just in the factory and everybody's totally cool with it.
It's totally cool. Nobody even notices him.
And then everybody's just like, "Oh, she's whispering in her ear. I have no complaints." And then like the mother's like, "Oh, it's better to be happy, isn't it?"
Yes. Thank goodness that strange man is keeping her quiet.
Yeah. So we see a news report showing that people are running out of Wonka bars. We see a guy showing some people a computer that will tell them the precise location of the golden tickets, but the computer is a little sassy and won't tell. "I won't tell you that. It would be cheating."
Yeah, and then he says, "I'm telling the computer exactly what he can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate."
So good. And then we got another news program say that Violet Beauregard found the third ticket in America. She's like a weird girl that just loves gum.
Gosh.
She's had the same piece of gum forever and sticks it behind her ear when she goes to eat.
Gross.
And she's like kind of gloating to this one girl that I guess she has a competition with about having like the
worst
longest
gum. Yeah.
Like, chewing the longest gum ever or whatever. I don't know.
And her dad's like the sleazy auto salesman.
It's like an auto salesman and a politician.
Yes.
And she's just like keeps trying to take the spotlight and sell cars. And then we see the creep again whispering in her ear.
Yep.
Even the cameraman's like, what is this? Should we be like focusing on this part right here specifically?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just the guy with a giant cut on his face. I'm sure that's just a totally normal cut and has nothing bad about it.
No.
And then we cut to Charlie going to his mom's work to walk her home, but she has to work late. He tells her that the third ticket has been found. It's like, I was just, I just thought you'd be interested. I was interested about it. And the mother's like, dude, I'm the only person that works in this house, okay? I don't care, all right? But Charlie's super sad, and he's like, it's like, well, there's only 3 tickets left. And if you're wondering if it's going to be me, it won't be me. You can count me out.
I just imagine my kids telling me this while I'm working, just rolling my eyes, just like, shut the fuck up. You're depressing me.
It's like, yeah, you know what we have? We have animals, we have a Nintendo Switch, and a PlayStation. Okay, you have it better than everybody.
Yes.
His mother tells him that his luck will one day change. Then she sings the most boring song in the movie.
Yeah, it sucks.
Cheer up, Charlie. And while walking home, he makes a bunch of dumb faces trying to look sad.
Yes, he does. Oh, his just mouth hanging open.
Dude,
all
he
the
looks
time?
like a 40-year-old child. He's got a crazy face.
He's been through a lot.
Sorry to that guy.
Yeah.
So in the southwest of America, someone found the 4th ticket. Mike TV is the kid's name, and he loves TV.
South America. You said, I think it's the Southwest.
Southwest of America. Did I say South America?
I thought you said. Maybe my mind just
it's probably
jumped
because
to Paraguay.
the next one is going to be South America. He essentially everybody wants to interview him. He's like, get out of my way. I don't care. I'm just trying to watch TV. And then the creepy guy is pretending to be a reporter. He's just like flopping his mic everywhere, like not even to the right people. It's so good. And then he begins to whisper in his ear.
I'm not getting a gun until I'm 12, right, Dad?
And it's like, I want a Colt 45, but I can't have one yet. Maybe when you're 12, son.
Yep, that's the right age.
You know what? Kind of aged well. Aged well and didn't age well at the same time. So the evening report is covering the last ticket. The Stanley Kale, the newscaster, 4 down, 1 to go. And somewhere out there, a lucky person is moving closer and closer to the most sought-after prize in history. Though we cannot help but envy whoever he is. And we may feel bitter, but we must remember there are more important things. Many more important things. Though offhand, I can't think of what they are, but I'm sure there must be something.
Let's just hope it's not a brown kid.
Oh my God. What the hell?
That's what the newsman was saying. There's just not a lot of color in this.
That is true. It is a very white movie. Very white movie indeed.
I know, but as soon as they say the guy from Paraguay got it, they're like, no fucking way.
God dang
It's gotta be a prank.
There's no way someone from another country.
Oh no.
Wow, Jason, just wow. So Grandpa wakes up Charlie in the middle of the night to open up a Wonka bar. And he's like, oh, they're getting so excited. He's like, which side should I open? Oh, do this side. Oh. And they open it and it's nothing.
Jesus,
Charlie's like, that gold ticket probably makes the chocolate taste terrible anyways.
Jesus, Eeyore.
It's like, dude, you know what? At least you have life, man. And you have all 4 of your grandparents. They all live with you.
They all sleep,
they
sleep
seem
in the
like
same
a hoot.
stinky bed.
Where they poop, dude. If they can't walk, where they poop.
Yeah, well, they've got the chamber pot under the bed.
They just got like holes right under their butt, and they just go.
Oh, I don't know.
Like how bad does this house think they don't shower? It's like, is the mother giving them all sponge baths? Oh, Grandpa Joe pisses me off in a second. So we cut to an auction where they're auctioning the last case of Wonka bars in Britain. It goes for over 5,000 pounds, and I guess some like Your Highness gets it or whatever.
Yeah.
We cut
like
to
the
a woman.
Queen of England comes in to buy it.
It's something, and then we cut to the person that got it, whose husband has been kidnapped. The kidnapper's ransom is her box of Wonka bars. The FBI guy's like, all right, ma'am, like all you have to do is give up the Wonka bars. Let me think about it. So then we cut to the news report saying that the last golden ticket has been found in South America. Grandpa Joe is upset for Charlie, and then we see Charlie just straight up, just quietly crying. I'll kill myself. I
Yes,
promise.
he will.
God, he's such a bummer.
He's a huge bummer.
So we're back to Charlie's teacher.
Because he wanted it more than anyone else in the fucking world.
But he's also the only polite child in the world, I guess.
But he also didn't want it bad enough to make a counterfeit.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Maybe he should have broke into the candy factory. And then we cut back to the teacher. I've just decided to switch our Friday schedule to Monday, which means that the test we take each Friday on what we learned during the week will now take place on Monday before we learned it. But since today is Tuesday, it doesn't matter in the slightest. Pencils ready?
Yes. I love when they're talking about percentages. And you're like, Charlie, how many did you open? 2.
Two.
It's like, I can't just do 2.
It's like, I'm not that smart of a teacher.
You're a math teacher, man.
It's like, what are you talking about? It's just, if I went home and was like, what'd your teacher say today? Well, he wants us to take tests that we usually take tests on Friday about what we learned throughout the week, but now we have to take it on Monday before we learned it. They're like, I'll be back. I'm going to your school. You're learning nothing. We have to get this man out of here.
Oh, I love it. It's chaos.
So we cut to after the class, we see Charlie's walking the streets and he finds some money in a gutter thing or whatever.
Yeah.
He decides to go buy some chocolate. At first, he buys a scrumdiddlyumptious bar, but then he decides to get a classic Wonka bar. There's a lot of commotion outside. Turns out the last Wonka ticket was a fake ticket. Charlie goes to open his bar, and it has the ticket in it.
Damn.
And this woman immediately grabs his wrist.
Yeah,
and you think he's gonna
super scared for a second.
He's like, oh.
He didn't immediately get murdered.
Turns into,
amazing.
What's his name from King of the Hill? Oh. We see everybody going crazy for him, and Charlie runs home. While running home, Slugworth stops him and asks him to give his get the everlasting gobstopper from him, and he'll give him 10,000 pounds when he tours the factory.
Yes, and I think Slugworth, this guy can see every person on Earth somehow, and he knows whenever the ticket is found.
Well, since we'll find out he works with Willy Wonka, I'm assuming he has like a special invention that allows him to travel the world.
Or
like that I can only assume.
Or they planned it in advance and they knew who was going to get the tickets.
Oh, bro, probably. But he can travel through TVs. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Fuck yeah, Slugworth.
So he gets home to show everybody. At first, they don't believe him, and then they read it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's true. Charlie can only bring one person, and he wants to bring Grandpa Joe, not his loving mother who knitted a scarf, works hard every day, taking care of these grandparents.
She has to go to work that day.
That's true. Even though
I feel like if she misses one day of work, they are all gonna die.
Right. And after 20 years, he finally just stands up and walks.
It's like, hey, Grandpa Joe, did you ever try walking?
Yeah. And then he has the audacity to sing that I've got a golden ticket.
Yes.
And Charlie does.
It's mine. It's finally mine.
And then, I love it. He gets up. He starts dancing. They start pulling out clothes and just throwing it everywhere.
It's making a huge mess.
That mother's like, I swear to God.
She's like, I'm going to put you back in that fucking bed.
And then Charlie tells him about Sludgeworth. And I like to think that as they exit the house, the mother turns to the other three grandparents. Get your asses up. You're faking.
She gets in the bed in Grandpa Joe's spot. She's like, it's on you now.
It's like, fuckers. You guys get up. Y'all have been lying for 20 years.
She's pushing him out of the bed.
I bet you're the ones that killed my husband, too.
So I wonder if his dad died in like the war,
something like that. I don't think it said, right?
Chocolate War.
Yeah. The chocolate war. The chocolate war.
The war against the vernicious
I would have loved it at the end of it. Actually, Charlie, I'm your father. Willy Wonka's your father.
Dang, where the fuck have you been?
To make it even worse for the mother, just like, are you kidding me?
Just kills him.
Yeah. Or we find out like the father died during childbirth. It's like,
how does he die during childbirth?
I don't know. It would just be even worse for the mother. It's like, I did everything. How did you die? Just to make it even more ridiculous for the mother.
Here's something else that's depressing. So how old do you think Charlie is? Like 10?
I don't know. I don't.
So he's like 10 years old.
He's probably like in 4th or 5th grade, right?
Something like that. Yeah. So it's like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
The grandparents have been in the bed for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that means 10 years ago, when Dad was still around, they were fucking in the house, like right next to the grandparents.
Maybe they had like maybe when the father was around, he's making more money and like they had a better house with a couple more beds. Like, I don't know. It's just like the Grandpa Joe's like, that's my son. He's really giving it to her. The other grandpa, that's my daughter. She's really taking it.
Yeah, no, I think Grandpa Joe was the mom's father.
Oh.
George and Georgina were the dad's parents.
Then switch it in reverse.
It's like, get her, son.
Yeah, get her.
Oh.
Like, if I don't hear that bed squeaking, I know y'all aren't doing it right.
Uncomfortably loud sex in the other room.
Don't worry, we want to hear it.
Behind a sheet. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Gross. Just gross. So we cut to the next day and they're in front of the Wonka factory. All the other kids are being brats, but Charlie's being a sweet little angel.
Ugh, with the fluffy hair.
Yes. The clock strikes 10 and Wonka comes out. He has a limp and everybody's real weird about his limp. Everybody gets super quiet, but Wonka slowly walks and then his cane comes out of his hand and he looks like he's about to fall, but then he does like a somersault.
Ooh, and everyone goes fucking wild. Yeah.
Now that we know he can walk normal, we love the guy. Even our dog loves him.
So glad he's not handicapped.
Right. It's just like I couldn't do a tour with someone handicapped, apparently. So he welcomes everybody in, and now they're off. He has everybody take off their coats. He's got these cool little coat and hat hangers that are just golden hands that can move.
They grab the stuff. Yeah, that was cool.
And he tells everybody to hurry because we have so much time and so little to see. Wait a minute. Strike that and reverse it. Thank you. Love it. Wonka has them all sign a contract that is ridiculously long and impossible to read towards the bottom. All the parents are super sketched out, but the kids say screw it and they all sign it. Charlie and Grandpa say they have nothing to lose, so they sign it anyways.
I like how none of the guardians of these children had to sign anything.
Yeah,
it was just the kids.
Just the kids. The adults could, I think the whole point is the adults could do anything, right? Because he knows like, well, the adults are going to do anything they want anyways, which is kind of like the theme of the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
And they're off. They go into a room with only one door. They're all freaking out when they get in there and they can't find the door. Wonka's like, oh, I wonder where the door is. It could be anywhere. I'm sure I'll put it here somewhere. They're like, oh, here's the door. Everybody's like, that's the door you went out in the first place. Wonka's like, oh, is it? Well, let's see. And he opens it and it's a completely new room.
Hell yeah.
Like, I love how they're just immediately just suspect of Wonka.
They're ready to leave now.
They're so, and like Grandpa Joe and Charlie, like, this is cool. This is, like, if I saw that, I'd be like, whoa, let's get in this factory. This place is insane.
The fun house.
So they go through the next hall, and the hall gets smaller. And,
yeah, it looks like it's a really long hallway.
Yeah, and it's tiny.
Yeah, it just gets tiny.
Is the hall getting smaller? And
no, he's getting bigger.
Like, if I was next to him, I was like, are you serious, lady? Like, you're kind of dumb. But it's awesome. And so one of the parents is like, I doubt we'll get out of here alive. And then Wonka says, you should never, ever doubt something you're not sure about.
Yeah, I love how he never answers anybody's questions. He always just like, all questions have to be submitted in writing.
Yeah.
Or like, he's
just like, we'll answer them all at the end.
Yeah.
Or please call this number. So in the next room, he says, everything is edible, eatable. You can eat everything. It's the chocolate room.
Eat my ass, Wonka.
What? So we get the best song in the movie, Pure Imagination.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I sing it all the time.
Is that really Gene Wilder singing?
I'd assume. I didn't see anything about it. It kind of sounds like him, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I thought it was. So lovely. I love it. And while he's singing, he's telling everybody, he's like making sure they all don't run ahead of him. He's kind of being a little goofy with them. I love it.
I wish more actors had to be able to have another talent. Like singing or dancing.
Well, a lot of them do. It seems like usually if you're an actor, you're pretty decent at
classically
something
trained
else.
and
Yeah.
some other stuff.
The kids are off and they can really eat anything, everything. It's kind of gross at times.
Yep.
Like when the Violet, I believe she's the one that's eating like all these like huge gummy bears. Like he knocks the gummy bear off, she takes a bite out of it. Dude, they're so gross. The huge gummy bears are disgusting. I hate those things. You got what's her name? Veruca Salt. She's like trying to bash this ball and then she gets it open and just puts her hand in as this giant handful of chocolate. Yes. It's so gross.
And then she just like licks it and sticks her hand back in it.
Yeah. And then like Augustus is just going ham on this like chocolate fudge bar or a ball or something.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a badass room.
And then in the song, you have Gene Wilder just sitting down, drinking like a little teacup.
Buttercup.
Like that looks like a flower.
Yeah.
And then at the end, just takes a bite.
That was
It's
awesome.
Great. Love it. This
just
room is amazing.
I want to eat it. I want to lick stuff.
It's my favorite.
Oh, the part where they lick the walls. Kind of weird.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Oh, that's not even yet?
That's
we're
not yet.
Even there yet?
That's like right before they get to the... That's before the geese room.
Oh, okay.
So we see a giant chocolate river. It has a waterfall that mixes up the chocolate. It's the only way you can get the chocolate just right. Then we see Oompa Loompas from Loompa Land, who is this other country that has terrible beasts that could eat them all. They don't believe them, though. We see Augustus drinking the chocolate, and Augustus falls in the river and ruins the chocolate. She's like, please, get some help. Wonka, help, police, murder. Wonka doesn't help, and Augustus gets sucked into a pipe. He gets stuck in the pipe.
I love how Charlie's the only one that tries to save him.
Yeah.
Not even like the kid's mom is trying to help.
Nobody. Everybody's like, well, whatever. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. And I love this part because once he's stuck in the pipe, it's like, Willie, get out. The suspense is terrible. I hope it lasts. He plays his little flute thing or whatever. And we get our first Oompa Loompa song because Augustus shoots out through the pipe.
Yes.
And it's just essentially...
They got to get him out before he gets tossed in the boiler.
Yes, exactly. And it's essentially a song about not being greedy.
Yeah.
And not overeating.
Like
just straight up call them fat.
God.
Hey, these Oompa Loompas, they go hard.
They're judgy.
They don't hold back. So everybody is now suspect of Wonka, but he doesn't care and tells them that to hop on his boat. And like while they're getting on it, they go through his river. And she's like, oh, one of the parents is getting like seasick, and he gives her like, here, chew on this. It turns your spit into 7 different colors. And then Violet's like, spitting is such a dirty habit while picking her nose.
Yeah.
And then I love it because he just got Gene Wilder and he has this hilarious face like, I know a worse one. It's great. And then we're into the tunnel and we get the weirdest part of the movie.
I love it.
Scariest part of the movie.
It's my favorite part.
He does like this weird song. We see the images on the wall, like extra close-ups of bugs
eating other bugs,
chicken getting the head cut off, and like super close-up of a crab, which really freaks one person out. I was like, it's just a crab.
It's freaky.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
And then everybody's freaking out, and he's like, stop the boat. Yeah. And they're immediately at the entrance of the
He gets
room.
intense.
Yeah, he goes hard on this part. He tells them no touching and no telling. He says Slugworth would do anything to get into this room. And like everybody's like, oh, ooh, should we?
Dang.
Oh, dang.
We know
maybe
him.
we'll tell him. It's an insane, messy room. Mike TV eats some exploding candy and like explodes back. It's awesome.
He's like, it's not ready yet because it's not powerful enough.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like blow your teeth out of your face.
Yeah, I guess so. And he tastes like he goes around. He picks up a clock. He's like, you don't want to waste time, and like throws the clock into like a thing. He goes and tastes
Puts soccer shoes.
Yeah,
in the thing.
he tastes some brew and like throws some shoes. Goes to another one and throws a coat in it. It's like they're like, what? Is it too hot? No, too cold. And throws a jacket in it. So
yeah, like a wool jacket.
It's so funny. That's so clever. And so then he goes and he shows his most secretive machine, and then you get the classic like meme where he like leans down and he's just smiling.
Oh yeah,
it's so great. He shows the everlasting gobstopper machine. All the kids want one, and he decides to give them all just one. He tells them to never give them or show them to anyone else,
or I'll kill you.
Yes. You'll all get your face cuts like Slugworth.
Yeah, surprise! All of you but one is gonna die today.
Yeah. And then we see another weird machine that produces gum that's a full meal. It's like a 3-course meal. Violet gets super excited and takes it and chews it, even though Wonka said not to. When she does it, he's like, no, don't, stop. But she slowly starts turning blue and bloating. Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. One of the best lines ever put to screen. Wonka says that she's getting filled with juice and she has to be squeezed or she'll explode.
Can you imagine what she looks like when she's getting juice? Like, where is it going to come out of?
I'm assuming nothing gross and only her mouth and ears.
Nose, maybe.
Yeah. Just like, and I'm sure they'll probably use it and drink it.
Oh, wonderful.
dang old freaks here.
Maybe that's what the Oompa Loompas eat. They just
They just make people chew this gum and then they
yeah.
just like eat whatever comes out of the people.
They all just swarm on her. And,
Yeah.
Blood. The chocolate river runs with blood.
The Oompa Loompas are dang ass freaks, so they might. Oh, and then we get the next Oompa Loompa song. It's a song essentially just about manners. And then after the song, and they push her out.
Called her a cow.
Yeah. And then as they're getting ready to go, Wonka's like, "Where's fancy bread? In the heart or the head?"
What does that even mean?
This is
Willy?
like one of the most quotable movies ever.
Oh, Willy.
And this is where we get the lickable wallpaper.
Yeah, super
it's
strange.
So gross. I love it. You see Grandpa Joe.
His tongue is like flicking up and down.
Me and Natalie looked at each other. It's like, this is so gross, dude. It's the grossest thing ever.
If my kids came home from a factory tour, they're like, we get to lick the wall.
Be like, what the hell? We also drink a river of chocolate.
Oh.
And
Gross.
he's like, if you see pineapple, it tastes like pineapple. The strawberries taste like strawberries. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Snozberries?
Snozberries? Who's ever heard of a snozberries? We are the music makers. We are the dreamers of dreams.
Yes. So like, cryptic and great.
It's so great.
And she just goes back to licking the wall.
Yeah.
And he grabs her face.
Yeah. Like her tongue is out. So weird. And next up, we get the fizzy lifting drink. Snake. So next up, we get the fizzy lifting drink. They want to try it, but it's still too powerful. Grandpa Joe tells Charlie to drink it anyways. Grandpa Joe.
Damn it, Grandpa.
There would have been no issues if they just took the mother.
Like, hey, Grandpa, kids are dropping left and right.
Yeah, maybe let's not, Grandpa. But they begin to float up, and it's a really fun scene.
Yeah, it is kind of a fun scene.
They're all flipping. Yeah. But they realize they're going up too high and they're going to get sucked up in the fan. And the only way to float down is to burp. Thank God for Grandpa Joe's indigestion. These are the worst burps ever.
They're all fake.
They're like, so terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I need some like deep guttural.
And I love when you watch it, you can see their mouths burping the whole time, but like you only hear like one burp coming out of their mouth.
Well, no, Charlie's burping like crazy, but it's just like those little fake burps that you can do that are just annoying and not. Yeah, exactly. Like, and they're like,
I can force myself to burp. It's probably why I have acid reflux now, because I force myself to burp as a joke. Anyways, next up is the geese room. They lay giant golden eggs. They have a machine that can tell if an egg is a good egg or a bad egg. It's the egg indicator. We see that bad eggs fall down a hatch. Veruca wants one of the geese, but Wonka won't let her have one. I want it now.
Name your price, Wonka.
They're not for sale. And then she randomly breaks out in song, which is kind of crazy. And she's like just essentially just being the biggest brat you ever did see. And like she's throwing things around. The Oompa Loompas like, I can't wait. I hope it's time for a song for her.
I thought it was interesting in the 2005 one when they did squirrels instead of geese.
Oh, yeah. That was actually a pretty cool scene. I did like that scene. Yeah. And then so towards the end of the song, she gets on the egg indicator and she falls through.
Because she's a bad egg.
Like she was a bad egg. She falls. We learn that she falls to the garbage chute that leads to the furnace. Her father jumps in after her. And then we get the next Oompa Loompa song. It's a song about how she shouldn't be a spoiled brat.
Yeah, or you'll get burned alive in hell.
The mother and father. And then I love the next scene. They're beginning to leave. I don't understand. The kids are disappearing like rabbits. Well, at least we have each other. And they hop on.
This is going to be you, because you guys don't have, you're probably not going to have kids. I don't know that. But like...
At the moment, we're not sure.
You're not planning on it, but like I feel like that's what he did too. He's like, kids are terrible.
Kids are terrible. Can't wait to take them to my extreme death factory.
Yes.
So they hop on the Wonka mobile. It's powered by everything carbonated, essentially.
Fuck yeah.
It's a machine that goes really slow and spews bubbles all over everybody. Because, like, Grandpa Joe's like, I bet this is super fast. I'm sure it's going to go extremely fast. He's like, I'm kicking it up to a high gear as fast as I've ever been. It's like barely going.
It's like the steamroller from Austin Powers.
Yeah, exactly. And we see Grandpa Joe and Charlie. They're having a great time while the two up front, the TV people, they're like, I hate it. What's going on? But then we get this great shot of like them going into like this portion of the wall, and they're coming out. They're getting like squished, and they're coming out the other end completely clean.
Fucking
it's
cool.
great. And then they get to the end, and Mike TV asks, "Why couldn't we have just walked? If the good Lord wanted us to walk, he wouldn't have invented roller skates."
Yes.
Gene Wilder. R.I.P. R.I.P. So they have to put on special suits before they go into the Wonka vision room. Wonka came up with a machine that can teleport chocolate through TVs.
And children.
They have to use really big chocolate bars, though, because they shrink to very little normal chocolate bars.
You make them huge.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's like, what if I would just be like, nah, I just want to eat that, actually.
This is a machine that Willy Wonka uses to snatch your kids out of your house.
Yeah. It can work both ways, apparently. So Mike TV decides he wants to be sent through television. Wonka, stop, don't, come back. He gets shrunk into a really tiny person. I'm a TV star.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how he should stay.
So we learned that the only way to fix him is Wonka's going to put him in the taffy pulling room.
Stretch him out? Oh, man.
Oompa Loompa comes up, starts whispering in his ear. It's like, no, don't worry. You won't be accountable.
He just gets quartered.
Yeah.
All his limbs torn off.
His mom starts feigning. She's trying to talk. It's like, no, don't speak. Some moments have no words. And then we get the next Oompa Loompa song, which is a song about how you shouldn't watch TV all day. You should read because they don't have commercials.
Yes.
And I didn't pay attention to this when I was growing up because I watched a lot of TV.
Yeah, I did too. I was watching it on television.
Yeah, well, you were reading encyclopedia, so.
I did do that.
Nerd. Wonka is very dismissive of Charlie and Joe, tells them the tour is over and doesn't offer them the chocolate. Grandpa Joe goes in to find out why. Wonka tells them that because they had the fizzy lifting drinks and it was in the contract. He gets this tiny little glass and reads out, and most of what he's saying is etc., etc., etc. Makes no sense. I said good day.
I said good day, sir.
Yeah. Charlie feeling sad. Grandpa says, you know what? We'll go to Mr. Slugworth or whatever and
Hell yeah,
give him the gobstopper.
Fuck yeah, get that money.
But then Charlie, feeling sad and bad, decides to give his gobstopper back to Wonka.
Well, I love his office, though. It's like
everything's cut in half. Yeah. Even pulls out a piece of paper, like the contract, and only has half of it. So great. But after Charlie gives up his gobstopper, Wonka then starts celebrating. Tells Charlie he's won.
You did it, Charlie.
And he brings out his friend, and it turns out that Mr. Slugworth was just somebody he knew, and it was a test.
This is my life partner, Slugworth.
Yes. It's like, now that I'm a billionaire because I sold all this chocolate, we're going to go live on an island and be happy. He had to make sure Charlie was honest. Wonka wants to take them up in his glass Wonkavator. It's like, isn't this just an elevator? No, it's a Wonkavator. Because every time he brings out a boat or a car, he just says, oh, this is my Wonka something. And then someone's like, it's just a car. No, it's my Wonka car. He really wants everybody to know what it is. So he's like, oh, I've pressed all these buttons, but I haven't pressed this one, Charlie. Won't you press it? And they start
the
going
button that's
up.
going to shoot us out of the building.
It's like, so they're going to fly through the glass factory. And he says, hold on tight. I'm not sure what's going to happen next.
Oh, man.
I love it. He's a little shithead.
Not dangerous.
Yeah. Wonka tells Charlie that he can have the chocolate factory. I can't go on forever, and I don't really want to try.
Yeah. He's like, and you can't ever let anyone in because they will call the health person.
Exactly.
What are they called?
Health inspector.
Health inspectors.
Yeah. He explains that he wants a child to take over the factory because an adult would change everything. Don't forget it.
Make it all safe and shit. Yeah.
And then it has one of the best lines to end any movie. Don't forget about the child that got everything he ever wanted. And then Charlie's, what happened? He lived happily ever after. And then they hug, and it's the end.
Yeah.
Lovely. Turns out
up.
Wonka was just being a little sneaky.
He was being very sneaky.
Little sneak.
Couldn't just give it away to anybody.
Little sneaky snake. We will cut to best movie ever, right?
It's amazing.
I give it 5 Willy Wonka chocolate bars out of 5.
5 wonks.
I give it 5 giant geeses. Give it 5 violets turning violet.
I give it 4 dead children out of 5.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get to our first category: the good, the bad, the ugly, the fine. This is where we talk about what we loved about the movie, the good. We talked about what we didn't like about the movie, the bad. We talk about what didn't age well, the ugly. We talk about what did age well, the fine. So, what's the good for you, my man?
And Gene Wilder.
That's exactly what I got.
Fuck yeah,
that
man.
and the Pure Imagination song.
Yeah, that was really good.
We are soon gonna do Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein and whatever other Gene Wilder movie we can do.
Wow.
Especially Young Frankenstein. Natalie loves that
What's
movie.
his name? Marlon Brando? Is that the guy who did the? Or I'm thinking of something else. The director of that stuff.
Okay.
It's Mel
Brooks.
Brooks.
Yeah. So then we got the bad. What do you think the bad is?
It's just not a lot of, just a bunch of white kids.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like they could have.
Could add some person.
They sent these bars all over the world, which means there's probably other kinds of races.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like maybe they could have been more inclusive of this selection.
It's just like, this is just how movies were back then a lot. It wasn't inclusive enough. Mine was The Mother's Song.
Yeah, it sucked ass.
Bad, not very good. So what's the ugly?
Maybe that's what I meant to be the ugly. And
oh yeah. Okay.
So the bad would be the Charlie's stupid face.
Yeah. His 40-year-old child face.
It's just mouth hung open.
He had pretty bad expressions throughout the movie. So my ugly was Grandpa Joe.
Yes.
Boy, as a kid, you don't notice how terrible of a guy is.
No.
First of all, he just was a lazy bum. Just sat in bed for 20 years. And then he almost made Charlie lose everything because he drank some fizzy drink.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
Dangerous guy.
So the fine, what aged well? Mine was the weirdness of the film.
Pure imagination.
Yes, the Pure Imagination song and just the weirdness and how it's almost a horror movie.
Cool weirdness
Yeah,
stuff.
It's great. That's definitely one of my favorite parts. So next we go to the double feature. What's your double feature?
I guess like the new Wonka coming out with Tim Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
That's
why we're doing it. I picked Matilda or Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah, Matilda's Miss Trunchbull.
It's a Roald Dahl movie. Yeah.
I read Matilda a lot when I was a kid. It's one of my favorite books because she had telekinesis.
Do you know who directed that film?
No.
Danny DeVito. I almost said Robert DeVito.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he was the dad in the.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, that's the film. Thank you for listening. All right, and join us for next week when we cover the holiday classic Elf.
Yes.
Can't wait. Love that movie.
Put that Elf on that fucking shelf.
Seen it 1,000 times. All right. So, and thank you for listening. We do have an email. So if you do want to email us and tell us what you thought about the film, thought about the podcast, we may mention you on the podcast if it's a great email. We'll read it here, probably towards the end of the podcast.
Yeah, let's say your name. At
we recommend mailbag at gmail.com. You can also follow us on our social medias by following our linktree /we recommend podcast. You can also listen to us on other streaming services, and it's the quickest way to find wherever you want to listen to us on. I'd also like to thank Joey Prosser for doing our intro and outro. You can follow him on X at Mr. Joey Prosser.
Thanks, Joe.
And so just make sure you come back and give us a 5-star review. Tell us what you think about the podcast. Follow us, rate us, tell your friends about us. It's so we can grow and do this full time, have a movie every single dang day.
Hell yeah. It'll be fun.
So thank you for joining us. This has been the We Recommend podcast. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
And we are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.